Good morning and good afternoon, friends. Come on in. How is everybody doing today? I am just getting on my phone to make sure that I am live. So, I have actually done a couple lives lately and found out that I wasn't live. So, just wanted to make sure I was on here and am on live. So, looks like I'm here. So awesome. So, how is everybody? Welcome. So, my name is Judy Anderson from judystamps.com, and I'm an independent demonstrator in the United States. Diane and I collaborate every week, and I do Tuesdays, she does Mondays, and do projects for you guys. So, welcome if you're on her Facebook, and welcome if you're on my Facebook or my YouTube channel. Make sure you say hello, say good morning, Marjorie. You are always so prompt. I am so impressed with you. And Janet, good morning. How's everybody doing? So, if you like what I'm bringing you, give me the thumbs up. If you really love what I'm sharing with you today, give me hearts. Make sure you say hello so we know you're here. And if you're watching on replay, just say replay if you want, just so that we know that you came in and watched us. So, how's everybody doing? Oh my gosh. Bringing you guys more projects with some of the stuff that's on sale this month. As you know, our little mini machine, our mini cut, oops, and emboss machine is on sale for 20% off in Canada and the United States. A great bargain. I love my mini machine. Bring it with me when we travel. It's less bulky, it's not as heavy, and I can do just about anything I want with it, as long as the embossing folders and dies fit through the machine. In addition to that, we have some bundles that instead of being 10% off, they're 20% for this month. And what's really exciting, they brought back 3 bundles this month. It's the amazing, oh, I have it on the other room, amazing flowers and the garden wishes and the celebrate sunflowers were put into in the annual catalog, and they aren't bundled, but for this promotion they're bundling them. So if you didn't get them, make sure you get those, you guys. Those 3 stamp sets just in themselves are some of my favorites. I'm using one of my favorites today, and it's called the Garden Wishes. And the Garden Wishes stamp set is it's got images of dandelions and a bee, of course, and you guys all know that I love bees. In fact, I'm looking into taking a class for beekeeping this summer or this spring. It's something that I've always wanted to learn and have had an interest in, so I think I'm going to take a class on that. And it also has several verses and words in it that are for every day. And I just have memories of being at my grandmother's house, and she lived on a farm, and we would pick dandelions and we would wash them, and she would make dandelion salad. And how many of us today would do that? Most people are out there digging them up with a screwdriver or that long weed tool, or spraying them. I cut off the flowers, but I leave the leaves grow because they actually have nutrients in them that are good for your grass. Did you know that? So I'm going to flip you all around, and we're going to take a look at this bundle. Okay, so flip you around. There we go. And I've been working this week on cleaning some stuff up in my stamp room. I'm going to just make this so that it's square so you guys see. You know what? In fact, I'm going to change my camera instead of my mat. So we need to change it this way. There we go. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. Hey, Chris, how are you? Good morning, Diane. So you will find the stamp set on page 22 of our annual catalog. And they've got some for you also. And like I said, it's a stamp of 11 stamp sets. And here you got a little hello from all of us. And we're going to be using your acts of kindness or like a breath of fresh air today. And then it coordinates with, I'm not going to look for the page. The Dandy Wishes dies. Now these not only cut out the flowers, but they cut out some extra leaves. And I have used these for Christmas trees and some things. You've got some long stalks of grass, and then you have these funky flowers. I call them funky flowers. Now, when I first saw these, I thought of Andy Warhol for some reason. The artist and his funky paintings and stuff that are, when you see a painting done by him, it's him. I'm going to show you what I made. I made this card. And doesn't that look like an Andy Warhol thing? The blocks of color, the different colors, and just very vivid. So this is a very different look to this stamp set than just looking at the catalog and the stamp set. So let your imagination roam. This also reminds me of Dr. Seuss. These images here and the little swirly for the bee also. And then it's got the bee, and it's got three loose of those flowers, and then the big one on the stem. So you could create all kinds of things, but I'm trying to think of the Dr. Seuss cartoon that is kind of like that. It also reminds me of Horton Hears a Who. So it's just, a fun die set and a fun stamp set. So we have the Dandy Wishes. I don't want those to go too far from me here. And the stamp set. And if you watch until the end, I'm going to show you some other cards that I created using this stamp set. So good morning, Peggy and Lorraine. So we are going to do a slimline card today. And I have cut Smoky Slate to measure 8.5 by 7 3/4, and I scored it at 3 3/4, so it would be in half, right down the middle. In the stamp set, as Diane said yesterday, spring is trying to come, but it's not quite here yet. Then I took a piece of Balmy Blue and cut that 1/4 inch shorter, so it's 8 1/4 by 3 1/2. Then I have a piece of Basic White. I'm just confirming my measurements. 8 by 3 1/4, or there should be 3 1/4. So those are going to layer on each other. And then I have some scraps because we're going to be stamping on these and cutting them out. But to begin with, we are going to stamp onto our image there, onto our white. And I am basically using my Memento, my Smoky Slate, and then we're going to be using blends. The first thing I want to do is I want to stamp our verse. And like I said, I want to use your acts of kindness are like a breath of fresh air. So I'm going to mount that on my stamp or my block, lining up onto my grid paper, just like Diane does. And I try to line it up on the line, at least one of the lines, and then I line my block up, get that up just a little bit, to one of the lines. And that hopefully will be straight. There's no guarantee because my labels aren't always on straight. I'm going to try stamping this here. Oh my gosh, I have to look over it. It does look, no, it's on. Okay, it's straight. It just looks crooked to me. And we're going to stamp this up in the left hand side. And I'm going to turn it over because I forgot. I want to put some ribbon on here. So I want to move it over just a little bit so I can put some ribbon over there. Let's get that back on there. Stamp even pressure. Okay, well, the first one was straighter. Isn't that the way it always goes, though? Okay, so now we are going to stamp 3 dandelions. And we're going to stamp them across, and we're going to do left side, right side, and the middle. And this one I'm going to have go up a little bit farther because we have plenty of room on this side to stamp that up. Okay, This side, I'm coming in a little bit because remember I said I was going to have ribbon down this left side. So I'm going to stamp this one down here. This one I'm going to stamp down here a little bit lower. Yes. I'm going to stamp, this one's going to go low here. So actually, probably about right in here, kind of midway. Okay. Then on my scraps, I am going to stamp 2 more. And I didn't know how many I was going to stamp, so I have a bunch of scraps. I've actually been going through my scraps this week. And I'm going to stamp this as tall as I can because I can always cut it shorter. Okay, and we're going to die cut these out. Now, if you wanted to save on cardstock and time cutting out your die cuts, you could just cut your die cuts and then stamp later, but I chose to do it this way today. Okay, we're going to get our little machine out. And we're using the plate 1 and the plate 2 on the bottom. And remember, you stagger them. We're going to put this at an angle because we never want to go in straight with our dies. And this machine, I have a tendency, well, my plates aren't flat, for one thing. So I am going to use a Post-it note to hold this on so it stays pretty straight on here. We end up not having to cut it again. I'm going to trim this off just a little bit because we don't need all this paper. There we go. And then slant that, slap the top on, and then push it through. Yeah. Yes, Sammy, it is. This is a great deal on this machine at 20% off. It is awesome. So we've cut this one. Let's get this off. Okay. Awesome cut. Didn't move. Excited for that, right? I usually don't have problems with my dies moving, except when I'm on live. So I have resorted to using my Post-it notes when I'm on live. Normally when I do this, I don't worry about it. And it's just a nice smooth right through. Okay, we're going to move that to the side. And we even have embossing folders that are made to go through this size machine. Of course, you could use your big machine too, but you know, like I said, when you travel and, you know, even when I'm here just doing my lives, a lot of times I use the bitty machine. Okay, so we have those and we have these, and we are going to be placing these, we're going to be popping these up so they are a little bit taller and sticking up. So it's more 3D. First of all, I'm going to take my blending brush and my balmy blue. Oh, pardon the dogs. My husband just got home and they will greet him at the door. And they may get pretty loud here, even though they're upstairs and the door is shut. That is Max. All of our dogs are rescues. We have 3 bulldogs, 3 different types of bulldogs, and a Shih Tzu. And they love greeting my husband. And actually, that was pretty quiet. I can hear him in already. And so they didn't really make that much noise today. So grateful for that. Okay, so we have all those done. So now we're going to start coloring. And I am going to take my dark Daffodil Delight, and I am going to go around the middle of these, pressing down and lifting up, and doing different length strokes all the way around this. And some of them are going to be close together. Some of them are going to be far apart. I know dandelions aren't yellow, are they? But I just wanted to use So Saffron. Or Daffodil Delight, sorry. I tried So Saffron. I didn't think it was bright enough. And besides, these actually need a little bit of color to stand out. You could use some blues on them if you wanted, to make it look like the sky behind them instead of coloring them. I actually thought of doing this with an Andy Warhol look. I was going to color each one a different bold color. What do you think that would have come out like? So I'm going to do the same thing with my light daffodil. And this one is dry, so we are throwing it away. And I've got another one. Oh, that's so saffron. Let me take a look here. I know I have another one. Yep. Here we go. This is going to be a look at that color. So that's how you can tell when your Stampin' Blends are dry, because you hardly get any color out of them. And, you know, even the brush tip on that one was getting pretty dry. I have not replaced too many of them, and I am using these all the time. Yet, since I bought them, since they came out, I bought a couple of them I have replaced, just because I use them a lot in my classes. But for you average stampers, these last quite a long time. And you're going to hear that squeaking. That's because I want to blend that center out. I want to pull that color and blend it into the light so it's not such a definite line. Okay, and I think I'm going to go over that one because it was with the older one, and you can definitely tell the difference. Okay, so we've got those all colored. Now I am going to go to my Granny Apple Green, and I am going to do my leaves down the center, just some dark strokes, really quick. And as you can see, it really doesn't take long to color these. And you're going to notice I'm kind of scribbling on these instead of doing the dot and the lifting. It's because the images are smaller, and I don't care if it's as definite. And this one, the leaf is hardly showing, so we hardly have to do anything on that one. But yeah, you know, spring is trying to come out here too. My daffodils are up and stuff, and I have just been biting at the bit to get out there and start cleaning the gardens up. But you're not supposed to do that until the weather is like in the 50s consistently, because of all the pollinators, your butterflies and your bees and your other animals, or insects that are in the hidden in and burrowed in there, keeping warm over the winter and laid their eggs. I used to go out and clean it up right away, and then my mom kept saying, "What are you doing?" I says, "Well, I'm cleaning my garden out. You know, I work full time. I don't have, this is when I had the 4 kids and was working full time retail. I says, I don't have, you know, except the days off, time to, and I'm bringing my stem right up into there. There we go. Time to do it. You know, a lot of times when I was off, it was raining or whatever. So when the weather was nice, I did it. Okay. So as you can see, we're coloring 5 of these images today. Now this one does, it does, you know, the grasses are kind of a little bit of a detailed silhouette type stamp, and that, but I have used these dies with so many of our other floral sets. There we go. Okay, so we've got those done. So now we are going to pop these up. Now when we pop these up, I'm going to start with my regular dimensionals. The stems are not going to have dimensional behind them. They are so thin, I don't think that we're going to need anything underneath there, as long as we support at each side well. And I'm putting 2 on the top. Should have my take your pick tool, grab my minis, because I know I'm going to need some minis here. Okay, where's the other one at? So go here. Yeah, this was a stamp set I believe that we could get early last year when our annual catalog came out, and it was, believe it or not, one of the ones at the top of my list. I really liked. It's different. We've had dandelions before, but combined with the dyes, it's just so unusual from what we have had before. I guess I didn't have to put all those dimensionals down here. We're going to put this one. I don't want it the same height as this, and I can't go, if I went this high, it'd look like they were kind of in a line. So we're just going to go down just a little bit there. Let's get these off. And if you notice, I didn't put my chads in my honey pot. Oh, I have some coins in there. Oh, my grandkids love putting coins in some of my things, and they did that there. So I put this one. Okay, I want to put it so the leaf is just barely up, so I have some support for that stem. Okay, so we have those on, and I should have used my silicone mat, right? Because now it's sticking to my grid paper. Okay, I'm going to take my snips and just snip that right off. Okay, that's cute just in itself, right? Okay, so I've got this gray granite ribbon, which may not seem, it doesn't match the smoky slate, but it coordinates with it. So I want to tie this, and 3, I'm going to wrap it around 4 times and cut it. That wasn't these are not my ribbon scissors. Okay, so I am going to grab my punch, and this is a handheld punch, and I do want my ribbon up towards the top, but not all the way to the top. What about right here? We're going to take our ribbon, fold it in half. You know, you guys, this is my favorite ribbon technique. Pull it up. I definitely need to trim off that end because it's kind of frayed and it won't go through that. So I take this and I fold it down so I just have that point right there. Okay, I'm going to go up. So are your flowers coming up yet in Canada? Let us know. Or, I know we have friends here from the UK and from Australia. Are your flowers coming? I'm sure in Australia they're coming up because you guys, your seasons are opposite. Okay, so I'm just going to tug on this just a little bit to get this taut in the back. I'm going to split this in half. And now normally if you see me do this, I just tie a knot, but we're actually going to tie a bow this time. And this stays, you don't need tape, you don't to hold it, to tighten it. How you do it, it's going to stay. So we're going to tie our bow here. And if you are from out of the United States, do you guys have dandelions? I wonder. I don't know if that is a flower that grows all over the world. I'm sure some of our seeds here have reached Canada because they do blow all over and go where you don't want them to go. I'm just tightening this up because the secret to a good bow is a good tight bow, right? Okay. Let's get those legs down there. And I'm just going to trim this. This one I want a little bit longer. This one I want a little bit shorter. Okay, let's start putting this together now. Okay, we're going to take our Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to put on cardstock. When I am doing big pieces like this, I do use, when I'm confident I'll be able to get it on straight. I do use the Stampin' Seal rather than the liquid glue. Liquid glue is my adhesive of choice. And I did not make sure that my ribbon was not twisted. That was a bad thing because that will form a lump. I will go and tear that down so it doesn't form a lump. Get a little bit of adhesive down there and twist it. There we go. Okay, so we're going to just put this right on like this. And I guess if I wanted, I could have had these go to the bottom and go outside of the frame, but just a very quick, let's get our glue dots because it looks like I am going to have to glue this because it's not wanting to go and stay in the direction that I want it to go in. So a little trick is taking a glue dot and sticking it under your ribbon right at the base here and getting that tie down where you want it to go. And this one will go eventually here. Okay, now we have our slimline envelopes in our mini catalog, and I am going to go ahead and stamp. Now they are gray granite, so I'm actually going to grab my basic gray so it shows up. And I am going to stamp a dandelion on here, just like that, to decorate because we don't want any naked envelopes. Okay, so that is our card. Oh, the inside, I forgot to cut a piece for the inside. So I'm going to, let me cut a piece real quick here. It's going to be 3.5 by 8. Because if you remember, the gray is 3 3/4 by 8 1/4. So we need to cut 1/4 inch off, and we are going to go ahead and stamp a flower on the inside too, because we can't have a naked inside. This may come out a little bit darker. Oh, it was fine because I didn't clean it before I went from my basic gray to my color. So let's color this real quick. See how fast I can color it, huh? No, I'm only coloring one, so it's going to seem like I'm coloring really fast, a lot faster than the fronts. But when you only have one to do, it is a lot quicker. So, Diane, okay, you have dandelions more in the summertime. Yeah, in the summertime here, when it gets really hot and dry, we have dandelions. Well, we have weeds all over. It just seems that the weeds thrive on the dryness, right? Let's get this colored. I will leave the inside sentiment. I still have to do some bees, but I do that. We are actually going to use our embellishment bees, our gold bees on this card. Stick one on there. Here we go for the inside, and then we have, get our gold bee for the front. I am hoping that these go over into the next catalog. I love these embellishments. If not, I definitely will grab a couple. And you all know that our retiring list, is coming out on the 23rd. So watch your email for that. So there is our card for day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll flip you around to say goodbye, and hopefully Diane answered all of your questions for you. I will go back and look at the comments. And until next time, everybody, happy stamping.